This is the Roborock S8 MaxV Ultra Robot Vacuum and Sonic Mop. It is the first robot in my home that actually leaves the floors looking freshly mopped while I barely lift a finger. It sits firmly in the high-end robot vacuum and mop category, and it is built for people who want true hands-off cleaning. If you live with pets, kids, or just a lot of foot traffic, and you want both vacuuming and real mopping without babysitting a robot or handling dirty water, this is who it is for. I care about results more than features on a box, and this one earned a spot in my routine because of what it does day after day. The design is clean and modern. The base station is bigger than the smaller docks I have used, but it looks tidy and purposeful rather than clunky. The fresh and dirty water tanks are tucked inside the dock and are easy to pull out without splashing. The robot itself has a low, modern profile that disappears into a corner. The parts you actually touch are simple. The dust bag in the dock is sealed, so when I pull it out, I do not get that puff of dust in the air. The side brush has a flexible arm that reaches out to edges, and there is a slim edge mop that rides along baseboards. Those two parts make a visible difference along walls and in corners where other robots leave a thin line of dust. The mop pad raises when needed, although there is a limit to the height it can lift. It manages my rugs with short to medium pile, but a thick shag rug still needs to be marked as a no-mop zone. Setup took me a little while, not because anything was broken, but because there is a lot going on. I spent time finding a good spot for the dock with space on both sides, connected it to my wireless internet, filled the clean water tank, and walked through the app mapping. The first map run was quick and surprisingly accurate. I named rooms, set keep-out zones, and told it where carpets are. The learning curve is there, but once I finished the basics, I stopped thinking about it. Daily use is straightforward. I open the app, choose a room or the whole floor, and it gets moving within a few seconds. Voice control works even when my internet connection drops. Saying hello Rocky starts or pauses a job, and I use that more than I expected while I am cooking or heading out the door. On vacuum performance, the suction is strong enough to matter. It is rated at around 10,000 pascals, which in real life means it lifts gritty dust from between floorboards and pulls hair out of carpet fibers in one pass where older robots needed 2 or 3. It handles coffee grounds, cat litter scatter, and the crumbs that fall off the counter after dinner without pushing them around. Noise is present but not harsh. On standard mode, I can take a call in the next room. On maximum suction, it is louder but it finishes quickly. Mopping is where this machine separates itself. It does not just drag a damp pad. The mop plate vibrates at a very fast rate, roughly 4,000 times per minute, and you can hear a soft hum when it is scrubbing. That motion, paired with steady water flow from dual nozzles, lets it lift dried spots that my old robot mop just glazed over. I tested it on a thin ring of dried orange juice near the fridge and a dot of soy sauce in the dining area. It recognized the mess, increased effort, and did a second pass without me telling it to. Floors feel truly clean under bare feet, not just less dusty. The obstacle avoidance is the most reliable I have used. The cameras and sensors, paired with reactive artificial intelligence 2.0, see everyday hazards in real time. It identifies a sock, a phone charger cable, and even a dog toy, and it reroutes gracefully instead of shoving or eating them. That saves me time because I do not have to stage the house every time. I still tidy up, but I am not crawling around hunting for every last shoelace. Real-world testing is where I judge any cleaning robot. Early one morning, my kid knocked over a bowl of oatmeal on our kitchen floor. I scooped the thick part with a paper towel and let the robot handle the rest. It mapped the sticky area, did a careful slow scrub, and returned for a second pass on its own. The floor dried without streaks. Another day my cat decided to shed all over the hallway runner. One pass on high suction pulled up the hair and left the edges clean, and the FlexiArm side brush reached right against the baseboard. I measured because I am that person. It cleaned to within about 1 millimeter of the wall. On transition strips between tile and wood, it crossed without scraping or getting stuck. On my fluffiest rug, the limited mop lift height, around 2 centimeters or 20 millimeters, meant I needed to set a no-mop zone. After doing that once, It has not tried to drag a wet pad over that rug again. The dock is the quiet hero. It automatically empties the dust into a sealed bag. For me, that bag lasts about 2 months before the app reminds me to swap it. It also washes the mop pad and dries it with warm air in under 2 hours. That drying step matters because there is no damp cloth smell, and I do not have to pull the pad and hang it. The fresh water tank is enough for my main floor without a refill. Dirty water disposal is as simple as pouring it out and rinsing, which takes less time than cleaning a manual mop bucket. I like the way the app lets me create sensible routines. I have a morning routine that vacuums the kitchen and hallway right after breakfast. I have an evening routine that mops the kitchen and dining area after dinner. There is also a mode that double cleans high traffic zones. When the robot finishes, it parks, washes the mop, dries it, and I do not think about it again. Battery life has not been a problem. I get close to 3 hours of runtime on a mixed surface clean. It has never failed to finish my space in one go, and when it does return to the dock to top up, it resumes where it left off without wandering. A few smaller touches made a difference for me. The built-in voice assistant is actually useful. Saying "Hello, Rocky" while I am lacing my shoes to start a quick clean is faster than opening my phone. There is an option to remotely drive the robot and use the camera to check on pets. I used it as a novelty at first, and then found it practical to see whether my cat was napping in the sunroom before I sent a mop job. The mapping is accurate across multiple rooms and keep out zones stick, so it does not tangle with cords behind my desk. Maintenance prompts are clear. When it wants attention, like a filter rinse or a tank refill, it tells me in plain language. There are some quirks. The dock needs a bit of space, so if you have a cramped apartment corner, measure before you commit. The initial setup is not hard, but it is not instant. I spent real-time dialing in custom cleaning routines and deciding which rooms should be mopped daily and which should be weekly. The mop lift height is the only limitation I hit regularly. If your home has very thick rugs or dramatic thresholds, plan your map and no-mop zones. The whole setup with the dock has some heft, around 45 pounds, so it stays put, but if you move it upstairs, take your time and lift carefully. A specific use case that has worked well for me is the kitchen after cooking. I will say "Hello, Rocky," set it to mop only for the kitchen and dining room, and let it run while I wipe counters. By the time I load the dishwasher, the floor is already freshly scrubbed. Another is weekend cleanup. I schedule a full vacuum across the first floor while I am out with the family, and I come back to clean carpets and a dried mop pad, with the dock quietly venting warm air as it finishes drying. The headline features are not just for show. Strong suction makes vacuuming actually complete on the first pass. The Sonic Mopping with Smart Ray passes clear sticky messes without me spot cleaning. The reactive artificial intelligence obstacle avoidance keeps it from becoming a cable chewer. The all-in-one dock empties, washes, and dries, which means I am not dealing with wet pads or dusty canisters. The voice control works even when my wireless internet is flaky. Those are the things that change daily use. If you want a robot that does real vacuuming and real mopping with very little intervention, this is worth a serious look. It shines in busy homes, homes with pets, and for anyone who is sensitive to dust and wants sealed disposal. If you prefer to tinker less, the setup will ask for some patience at the start, but the payoff is a routine that runs itself. If you have very thick rugs or unusual floor transitions, plan for no-mop zones. If you want a tiny dock you can hide behind a plant, this dock may be larger than you like. For me, the trade-offs are worth it because the results are consistent and the day-to-day effort is minimal. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more practical reviews like this, and drop your questions or your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.